Just so you're alright. I know you're trying to.
I'm gonna hop around here.
Aaron, are you ready? Everybody good?
Yep.
Janae Cook, Genae Cook. I'm with IMPD PIO. Just before 2:30 this afternoon, officers were called to the 6400 block of Mooresville Road, reference a person shot. As officers arrived, they were notified by dispatch that 3 persons involved had fled the area on foot. They had been given a description of these 3, and at this time we have 3 out of 4 people in custody. As officers arrived, they showed up on the scene and observed 3 persons shot. 1 person was deceased. IMS responded to the scene and pronounced him deceased at the scene. 2 people were transported to local hospitals. Both of those persons are in critical condition and currently in surgery. At this time, we know that this is an isolated incident. We believe that this has occurred between 2 people, or a group of people that knew each other. From what we're gathering is that an altercation started at another location nearby and then came up here to the Marathon gas station where the disturbance continued. At one point, a gun was, 1 person, if not more, had a weapon and began shooting. They then fled the scene, and as I said before, we have 3 out of 4 people in custody that we believe were involved in this incident. Any questions?
How many shots were fired?
At this point, I do not know. They're still gathering information. Homicide detectives responded to the scene. They are gathering statements from witnesses. As you can tell, this is a very busy scene with multiple people involved, and the fact that the persons were apprehended in areas in the neighborhoods around the area. So therefore, we have officers spread out for several blocks.
Do we have any description of the last suspect yet?
No, we don't. At this point, detectives are still gathering that, so that's an element and that they're still going to be working on.
Anything happened inside, or was it all outside?
We believe that everything occurred outside the business. It looks like, a vehicle was in between some of the gas pumps, and that is where the altercation took place.
Okay, and the person who died, did they have anything to do with that earlier altercation?
Everyone that's involved has to do with both these groups of people that had the altercation at the other location.
How are these people tied together? Are we talking family? Or are we talking just, how are they tied together?
You know what, right now it's they're still gathering names and information on these people, on everyone involved. And because notification has been made, we're still establishing how exactly everybody is related, whether they're friends or whether they're family. That's still to be determined.
Any idea if there were multiple shooters in this case then?
At this time, I don't know. Homicide detectives are on the scene and they're gathering that information along from witness statements and possible video from the area.
Even though you haven't named the people involved before, Officer Cook, do you guys know them, even though you're not releasing names to the public?
Correct. We have an idea of who some of those are, but again, this is still really early on, and the detectives need to make sure that that information is accurate. We don't want to put information out there that isn't.
Any information on the victim?
Right now, the victims are 3 males, and they are all adults. Are we good?
Is there a danger of gunshots going off at a gas station? Just what could happen? You
know what? Unfortunately, I can't say that where an incident is going to happen. That's just going to depend on where people have their altercations. But I will tell people over and over, you have to start learning to communicate. You have to start talking things out. The answer to anything is not to shoot someone. It's just uncalled for activity, and it's not going to be accepted.
So, I'm sorry, they were arguing?
So,
I live right
do
here.
you have any information, any other questions?
Where was the earlier altercation?
We're not naming a location.
You know what it was about?
No. Good. Thank you.
Sorry, that was a little blurry, guys. I holding mics with one hand and phone with the other, and I was kneeling on the ground. So sorry about that, but hopefully you guys got some